The celebration of life and legacy of Professor Humphrey Nwosu was held in Abuja, honoring the late chairman of the National Electoral Commission. At the event, Professor Attahiru Jega praised Nwosu's commitment to electoral transparency and independence, saying his actions have echoed through the decades as a high watermark of electoral integrity. Also speaking at the event, Professor Osita Chidoka spoke highly of Nwosu, describing him as a scholar, reformer, and patriot, exemplified courage in doing what was right. Chidoka noted that Nwosu's introduction of the option A for open ballot system in the 1993 presidential election drastically reduced fraud and restored confidence in the electoral process. Professor Gana also paid tribute to Nwosu, highlighting his distinguished academic career and his contributions to Nigeria's electoral process. Gana noted Nwosu's legacy serves as a reminder of the importance of integrity, courage, and conviction in public service, and his impact on Nigeria's electoral process would continue to be felt for generations to come.
So I'm very, very happy and pleased to see that friends are gathering, and family and friends are gathering in order to celebrate his legacy. And I have no doubt, I think unfortunately in our country, we seem very slow and hesitant in rewarding national heroes. And I consider Professor Nwosu's contribution and the courage to withstand what I can call the intrigues of military rulers trying to stay and perpetuate themselves in power, really something that is very heroic and that deserves to be appropriately appreciated and recognized and honored in our country. So he was a good man, and in my meeting with him, I came to testify that indeed he was a good man and he meant well for our country. We need such people in public service, in politics, and indeed in all spheres.
One of the things that we loved tremendously about Prof, he had the power of expression. When he believed, he had a conviction, he would deliver it excellently, he would explain it brilliantly, and he would even slash the air, so that you can really, if you don't understand the words, you can see the air being slashed. And the Mamsa were gathering the air and projecting the society. So it's a very, very good partnership. And Professor Nwosu is the celebrated person who really produced the option A4. We discussed that together, a number of joint sessions between Mamsa and the then Electoral Commission to arrive at this very, very critical junction of how to have elections that are not only peaceful and orderly, but credible. Democratic elections have to be credible, believable, must have integrity. And Professor Nwosu really is a person who cannot stand hypocrisy. He wasn't a hypocrite, he was real.
In a nation scarred by manipulations and cynicism, Professor Nwosu dared to do things differently. He knew the risk, he understood the power he was up against, but he believed in the people. And so he pressed forward, announcing the results of that historical election until he was ordered to stop. That act of defiance, quiet, principled, and patriotic, has echoed through the decades as high watermarks of electoral transparency and independence. So again, when you saw Professor Jega sitting stoic and silent in the face of accusations at the square at the International Conference Center, again, it comes from the history of Professor Nwosu, who stood defiant, courageous in going ahead and announcing results that many has dared him not to announce until he had to be forced. In the case of Professor Jega, he was lucky that they didn't force him to stop. They didn't come to... today we have internet and on multiple television stations. That day was NTA. Once NTA turns you off, you're off. Nobody will hear you again. But today, the online people, the private media, will all go ahead and carry the news. Like the legendary civil servant, Mr. Sunday Awoniyi, who as a permanent secretary under the military refused to sign off on policies he considered unjust. Even at the cost of his career, Professor Nwosu paid the price for his courage of conviction. He was removed from office. The election was annulled, and for years his name was mentioned in hushed tones until time and truth began to vindicate him. What made him extraordinary was not just that he stood for what was right, but that he did so in a system designed to reward compromise and punish integrity.